So sometimes things happen in the world that makes me stop what we normally do here and, if you will, stray out of our lane of sports talk and conversation about pop culture and things of that nature. And, you know, and what usually causes me to stop and do that on this program is something that occurs in life that makes me think, what if I said nothing? I don't want my kids to look at me and say one day, Dad, you had a platform, you had a microphone in front of your face. Why didn't you say something? And that happened yesterday when the school presidents of Harvard, Penn, and MIT were on Capitol Hill testifying at a hearing in the House of Representatives on anti-Semitism in college campuses. Now, growing up, one of my cousins went to MIT, and we were so proud of him and proud of the fact that he went to MIT. My brother went to Penn, met my sister-in-law, met his wife there. And I had such great times on that campus, and it's an incredible place. And Harvard, obviously, is a spot where, you know, Susie being from Boston and, you know, I'm from the Northeast. Obviously, there's dreams you want to send your kids to Harvard one day. Seeing the answers I saw and heard from the school presidents of those three institutions of higher learning to the simple question of whether they consider the phrase or the statement of genocide against all Jews to be a violation of codes of conduct on the campuses or considered a violation of the code of conduct in relation to bullying or harassment. And their answers not being unequivocally, yeah, that violates it, and just equivocating with a bunch of word salad and nonsense. Now, you could sit here and say, well, it's legalese because they have to leave themselves some wiggle room. That's nonsense. The question was from Elise Stefanik of New York, asking the school president at Penn if about whether genocide against all Jews was a violation of code of conduct. Her answer was, if the speech turns into conduct, it can be harassment. Oh, so we have to wait for the genocide to happen before you kick someone off a campus? Is that right? She called it a context-dependent decision. How about the context of what's happening in the world right now? Where hate speech against Jews, and by the way, Islamophobia is through the roof too. How about the context of just being against all hate speech? And it starts with this subject matter. Harvard's president said that genocide, somebody advocating for genocide against all Jews being a violation of their code of conduct, quote unquote, can be depending on the context. What? Hey, by just allowing that speech makes people comfortable to commit the genocide. You understand that? By not being unequivocal and saying, yes, this is a violation, and anybody who violates it is off campus. They can't go to Harvard, Penn, or MIT. By saying, well, it depends on this, that, the other thing, makes them comfortable to commit the genocide. It is the lesson you learn when you walk into museums of tolerance or Holocaust museums around the world, including ones that I've been to recently in Berlin, Germany, and Tel Aviv, Israel. It's the first lesson you learn, and I can't believe you've got to tell people who lead these institutions of higher learning that. And certainly the presidents at MIT and Harvard, just reach out to Bob Kraft. He's in the neighborhood. He's created the foundation to combat anti-Semitism. And you see the commercials all around the football games that we're watching right now with the blue square and the hashtag as well, stand up to Jewish hate. I cannot believe the answers I heard. It is frightening to see those answers from people in positions of leadership and higher education. Are you kidding me? The answer is yes. When you're advocating for genocide against anybody, that's a violation of code of conduct and is a form of harassment or bullying. Forget the context. Get out of here. And it's just really mind-blowing to me. In this day and age, I never thought in a million years that I would never want to send my kids to these schools. Forget that. And for this whole politics thing, there should be nothing political about this, left or right, at all. No politics. It's not your political stance. And it's mind-blowing to me. And to these folks, you know what I want to say to these folks who are in the position of power like that? What if you take out Jews and put in all lives? And that comes across as maybe like polarizing because those folks who were sitting up there on Capitol Hill unable to give the answer about Jews, certainly when we were talking about all lives matter, were at the forefront of the world there. And for me to say that, it sounds like for me to be polarizing, because this is not polarizing. Well, what about you? What about that section of the world? And what about Muslims right now? They should be all included together in this. What the hell is the matter with those people? On Capitol Hill, in front of the whole world, couldn't say the word yes unequivocally. No, it's context, this, that, the other thing. And if it's action, then we can take action. Oh, let's wait for the genocide. Instead of stopping it in its tracks the minute you can when you hear the speech.